guys, I know it's been a while. It's been a really long while, and originally I wasn't even gonna make this video, but after seeing a bunch of other booktubers videos on this exact topic, I realized that not a lot of them have apparently read or heard of the books that I would consider October Halloweenish reads. So I thought I have to make this video. So here I am, making this video so that I can share with you my recommended reads for the month of October for the spooky times. And I did kind of go with a bit of a spooky theme, but not even spooky, just stuff that I feel is very Halloween and October and just But I'm definitely going to be doing this a little bit differently. I'm going to be recommending you guys books that I personally haven't read. I mean, over half of them are going to be books that I have read. But like a small smidge of the pile are books that I haven't read, but I've heard great things about them, and like I've kind of grasped the, not theme, but the feel that the writer kind of portrays. So I know that it has more of an October kind of vibe to it. So I was like, I have to recommend it because I feel like they could be good for this month and everyone needs to know. So without further ado, let's get to it. Woo. Yeah. First book I'm recommending, kind of slash series, because I feel you can totally read the whole series. I mean, it's long, but whatever. It's a good book. That is Vampire Kisses by Ellen Schreiber. I love this book series. It is about a goth girl named Raven living in a town that she has dubbed Dollsville, and it's just a bunch of people who golf and their children because they're all rich. And her family's kind of middle class and whatever, but then all of a sudden one of the most exciting things to happen, someone moves in and he might be a vampire. Boom, bam. It's a good book. It sounds really trashy and cliche, but I feel like this is one of the books that started the cliche, and it's one of the books that does it really, really well. So check it out. It's awesome. And there's even a awesome manga series, and the illustration's awesome. So awesome, 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 awesome. Alright. The next book slash series I would recommend reading for the month of October is a witchy book instead of a vampire book, and that is The Sleep series by Kate Tiernan. I love this book series so much. It holds like a really dear spot in my heart and in my past, and it's just amazing. And it's not like, oh my god, creepy or anything like that, but as you go further into the series, crazy stuff starts happening that has to do with magic and all that-ness, and of course the witchery is just magical and very October-y, so read it. The next thing I'm recommending to you guys is a favorite from my childhood. I want to get the rest of the series and then just bow to the author in real life because I love this person's illustration and even the story. It's so random, but whatever, okay, whatever, here we go. It is called Emily the Strange, The Lost Days, and this is by a novel. It's a really awesome book. It's like fully illustrated, and it's like she wakes up on a park bench and she has amnesia. The creepy part is just kind of her mind. She's like a very, not disturbed child, but she's really, really smart and intelligent, but really loves creepy things because she's like a very goth kid kind of girl, and it's just cool. She wakes up on a park bench, no memory, and just kind of not lives her life, but tries to figure out what the freak happened, and it's awesome. It is a middle grade novel, but it's amazing. The writing's good. It's cool. It's a good story. Read it. And there's more in the series if you want to read it. This is the first one, I'm pretty sure. Sure. The next book I'm recommending, I haven't technically got through the whole book or the series. I'm in like towards the end of the middle. That is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. This is definitely a book I would recommend to read in the month of October. It's got the creepy vintage photographs and just the way that he writes this story. I don't know if this is his writing in general, but every moment seems suspenseful, and I feel like suspense is definitely something that is very October and Halloween, and you just gotta be suspenseful and everything. So I recommend reading this. It's a great story so far, and I cannot wait to see where it goes. The next book, I don't have the first book in the series, so I can only show you the last two. I think the first book's called The Summoning, but it's summoning series. I don't even know. I barely remember what it's about, but I know that it's kind of creepy, at least, and there's like a mystery to it, so I definitely recommend reading it. And it is this book series, the Summoning series, that is by Kelly Armstrong. Yeah, it's a good 3-book series. It's not one of those that expands forever and the story never ends. It has a good ending to it, nice wrap up, good plot, and I mean, it's a little cliche. It's not like the most amazing story in the world, but it's something that is nice, and it's gonna be like kind of a relaxed, creepy-ish read for the month of October. In between all your intense, mind-blowing reads, you can read this one if you want. The next book series thing I'm gonna recommend, I haven't heard anyone mention this. I don't know if people haven't read it in a while, don't have it on their bookshelf anymore because they didn't really like it too much. It's not the most amazing story, or at least it's not really memorable. I think it was a good stories, but it wasn't like mad memorable. But it is the Night World series. I mean, if you're a little bit younger, I think it'll be better to read because I feel like it's young adult, but a lot of a younger tone to it. But it's like a bunch of vampire stories and other witchy stories and just a bunch of Halloween cliches. And you can get 3 volumes with 3 stories in them each. They're really thick. This is the first volume. And it's Secret Vampire, Daughters of Darkness, and Spellbinder. Like a vampire. I think there's like a ghost story in here at one point. I don't quite remember. But they're good stories. Like, they're just kind of not so memorable. But they're fun. You know, again, another easy, kind of October-y themed read to read in between all your intense, crazy, mind-blowing stories that you're gonna read hopefully this month, as every month you read intense, crazy, mind-blowing stories, of course. And the second to last series that I'm gonna recommend to you guys, I strongly recommend to you guys. I'm so like, how has no one said this? Does anyone know this book? What? Why? But that is the Me series by Carrie Jones. Yeah, I said that right. It's amazing. It's a really good series. It takes place in Maine. It's about this girl. Her dad dies, and her mom kind of sends her off to Maine to be with her grandmother to see like a change of scenery will help her with her grief. And pixies. She finds out pixies exist, and there's like a lot of creepy snow and woods walking and just awesome stuff. Like, murders may or may not occur, and just things happen in this story, and like because of the setting, and because she's not always, but she's obsessed with phobias, and like her dad was also like a big fan of Stephen King, and that's mentioned a lot, and the atmosphere is so like creepy, but like it's so good. It's so good. So action packed. I don't know why no one has talked about this series. It's just a 4-book series. They're all pretty short but amazing. Read them this month. If you don't read them in October, read them in November, because there are winter themed books as well. Read them. My goodness, what are you doing, man? Read these books. Okay, rant over. Gosh. Why has no one talked about them? Anyway, the last book series I'm going to recommend that I have read personally is that Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark books. There's like 3 books in the series. I don't have them because it's like a little expensive to get the originals that I read on Amazon, because they changed it a little, and like the person who originally illustrated them with the creepiest freaking illustrations in the world, they did it over and someone else illustrated them, I think. So that's the version they sell, and it's just not as creepy and scary and weird. You just need to read them. It's just a collection of short stories. I don't remember, I think, if it was written by like one person or if it was like sent in stories. I can't quite remember that detail. Here's a picture. Hopefully I inserted a picture there for a second. But anyway, they're like crazy creepy. Like, they keep you up at night. If you're wanting something like that, definitely read it. I mean, it's middle grade, I think. I read it when I was in middle grade. There was just a thing that everybody read back then. I don't know if I were to reread it, if I were to find it scary. But I think that they were really scary when I was younger, and I totally recommend them. They're like legit scary stories. Why has no one mentioned legit scary stories to read in the month of October? But anyway, alright, so on to the second part of this video, where I recommend you stories that I have not read, but I think they will be perfect for the month of October. That did not go like I wanted it to, but whatever. Okay, so the first one, I've started it, but I think that it's gonna kind of take a bit of a creepy turn, and that is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. She writes these beautiful, beautiful words and puts them together on a page, and they're beautiful. Yeah, I don't really know much about this story. My copy doesn't have a synopsis. I don't know if that was on purpose or if they sold the wrong copies when I bought it, but whatever, read it. It seems creepy. The next one I'm probably never gonna read, but I think that it seems very suspenseful and it has a dark tone to it. So that is 3 Dark Crowns. That is by Kendare Blake. Yep, I got it in my out crate, and yeah, it seems really dark. Have at it. I think it's about like 3 queens who they're like sisters, and they have to kill each other for the ultimate throne, or what the fuck ever. The next one is a steampunk themed book, and it's a retelling of the Peter Pan story, and it is Everland by Wendy Spinelli. Did I say that right? I think I did. Yay! The only way to grow up is to survive. To die will be an awfully big adventure. Like, if you're a Peter Pan buff, I think you should totally read it. It's definitely got a darker, dark theme to it. It's almost dystopian in a way, but there's also that steampunk vibe throughout, which I think is also a bit October-y. Weirdly enough, I find steampunk to be November-y as well. Does that make sense? Anyway, I'm recommending it. So yeah, read it. The next one, I started reading this. I watched the movie. There is a movie. You can watch it on Netflix, but don't before you read it. It's like a murder mystery kind of book. And it is Horns by Joe Hill. And yes, that's Daniel Radcliffe. He was in the movie. He was the main character. But I definitely recommend reading this. It's like a really creepy, he like grows horns on his head for some reason. And once these horns are on his head, suddenly people just start telling him all their deepest, darkest lies and their deepest, darkest thoughts. So he decides to use that newfound power to figure out who the fuck killed his girlfriend, cause fuck them. And yeah, and there's definitely a bit of swearing. It's a bit more of an adult book, but I think that it's perfect for October, like really perfect. So yeah, devilishly good. Read it. The last book / books on this list, I have like started and read like a story in one of these, but that is Sherlock Holmes by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. This is my illustrated copy of like a bunch of different ones. I read the first one in there, but I recommend this because they're mysteries, and sometimes they can be creepy, especially The Hounds of Baskerville, because it's kind of like, ooh, is it ghosts? Oh, I don't know. Murder? Not murder? Is there murder? Probably. Mystery. So yeah, I definitely recommend this or any other Sherlock Holmes story you want to try this month, because yeah, they're cool. Sherlock Holmes, super smart, super observant. Alright, so that's it. That's everything. I'm done. Hopefully I get this out as soon as possible. Yeah. Happy I did that. Now I have to put all these books back. Shit. Also, I promise to see you guys in the next video of whatever I make. Thank you, sir. Alright, remember to read all the books I recommended, of course, not any books you actually want to read,